Hello.
Hello.
Welcome, everyone. This is the NgoVo Convo podcast. I'm Harrison. I'm joined by Veronica.
I'm here.
I pointed this way. I meant this way. Oops. I'm not even married, but we just want an excuse to talk about anything and that really entertains us, but really to clean up our never-ending backlog. But really, Veronica's backlog.
It's my backlog.
Because we're going to be talking about Dragon Ball?
Yes.
Dragon Ball review.
Yeah.
It's great. But also, Veronica, some would say we're two people right here conversing.
Wow. Like NgoVo Convo, NgoVo Convo, logos above Harrison's head. He's pointing.
I'm pointing as always. You can watch every episode on youtube.com or listen to us podcast by searching on NgoVo Convo on your podcast service of choice. This episode is also sponsored by Olipop, but we'll get into the details and nitty-gritty later. As I said, we're talking about Dragon Ball. This is the second saga. It is weird to say saga when the size of it's not really a saga.
Arc.
Like, it's an arc, but down the line, like I think in Dragon Ball Z it is more saga-esque. But we're talking about the tournament arc saga. It is chapters, let me see, it was like 24 to 54, so about 30. And anime episodes, it's 14 to 28. I was going to say, way back then, when I watched this, this whole section felt longer.
Really?
But I also wonder if it was just a bunch of reruns.
You were like watching reruns like for a month and you're like, what's going on
I
here?
was like, dang, this is a long tournament arc. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Reading this, it just felt very fast. And it was just like, oh, okay, cool.
But you know what? I think One Piece changed you.
It did. No, I'm not even kidding. And we will say this probably every time and people will get sick of it. But reading One Piece at the rate that Veronica was forcing me to.
Wow, okay. You are just gripping onto that.
I am, and I will.
The last year was so hard for you.
It was. Reading 300 chapters in one night. Oh, God.
That is your own fault.
That was... Actually, it wasn't even 300. I'm exaggerating. It was
like
150.
That was your own fault.
It was Dressrosa. I know for sure it was Dressrosa.
Listen, I even warned you right like a week before. I was like, don't forget.
I thrive off of like my anxiety of like, playing it close. You
mean your procrastination? It felt like college all over again.
It did. Gave me the rush, Answers a lot of like psychological stuff, but that's not the point here. We're talking about Dragon Ball.
Yes,
a much simpler topic, honestly.
Yes.
So, I think we're just gonna get right into it. Not gonna have like non-spoilers. We're just gonna go right into spoilers because at this point, I like to believe if you haven't seen it or read it, go watch it real quick.
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere. It's really easy. It's really short, honestly. And come back here and just listen to what Veronica thinks. She'll give hot takes. Easy.
Easy.
Veronica, coming from the last arc or saga,
we're gonna like just intertwine those words.
It's just it's just funny, okay? It's like,
yeah, it is.
It's like in perspective, right? This is like the 80s, like okay.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on like how what did you expect when Goku was like, okay, I'm gonna leave to go train with Master Roshi?
I knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
I figured he needed to like up his
the power boost.
Get that power boost.
Get the typical shonen.
How he trained or how he was able to enter into training Roshi was really funny.
Because Roshi was like, "Oh, you gotta find me a hot babe."
Yeah, a hot babe, a hottie, or something.
Or I forgot what the word was.
Yeah, me too. But they introduced a new character as well. This cute little.
This is when you get to meet Krillin. It's funny reading it because I realized how they pronounce things, and English is made easier because Krillin versus Kururin.
Kururin, yeah.
Yeah, but English is Krillin. What do you think of Krillin?
That little gremlin.
He's a monk. How dare you?
No, that's a little gremlin.
Who's not pure?
That's not a monk. A pure monk, at least. can't even ride the cloud.
And he's like 13,
Yeah,
14.
he's like
Again,
13,
I think
14.
coming from this time period though, did not think that they were 13, 14. When I watched it, I
Really?
thought they were like, "Whoa, look at their size."
Yeah.
And then you see Bulma
Yeah.
that's like tall and she's like 16, right?
16, yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Sorry, I just got a message.
Oh.
Let's see. Sorry. Yeah, I didn't think that they were like 13, 14. I thought they were like 10.
10?
Yeah. Yeah. Did you? But yeah. So. Sorry.
No,
sorry.
it was
Sorry, I just got a
interesting.
message. Yeah.
The gremlin, or the monk, I should say, is just as thirsty as Roshi.
Oh my god.
If anything, he understands Roshi a little bit better.
He is honestly. It's funny because I think Goku is also just an anomaly because he just lived in the mountains.
Yeah.
I think Krillin's a more like typical boy that understands what's going on. So.
And they do find a hottie.
They do. Well, actually, no. So before then, though, Goku gets like 2, right?
Yeah.
He just picks up a lady and is like this this huge lady, and Roshi's like, not him, no, not her. What do you mean? What's
and
going
then a
on?
mermaid.
Yeah, and then the mermaid. I love how he's like, she's only wearing a shirt
Yeah.
and like no pants. Is that normal? He's like, what'd you say? Oh my gosh! But then, like with Krillin's help, they do find a girl.
Yes. Her name
Did they
is like
say-
Lunch.
So yes, it's when I got introduced in
Uh-huh.
English, it's launch, like
Oh,
launching
okay.
off of something. So
Like
they call her
launching?
launch.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So.
Yeah, I saw Lunch and I was like, is there something missing here?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. So I like her little quirk in that like she has every time she sneezes, she just like changes, and it's just really
That is a personality disorder, if anything.
yeah. But it's like
If
visualized,
anything.
right? It's just
Yeah.
visualized. But in like watching the anime, like, what do you think of her? Because I think she's funny as a character.
No,
honestly.
she's funny. She's hilarious. I love her calm self. She's just like so clueless.
Mm-hmm.
And then like she sneezes and then she's like guns blazing, literally.
I think in the anime, it's like, again, I think the anime fleshes out a lot of stuff a little bit better. It's just funnier because like when you
Yeah.
hear her, it's like she has this like when she's in her normal like I guess like nice form,
Like,
she's like
nice
very
form.
like high pitched and like very like girly and all that, and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden like she's like when she switches to the blonde one. So I don't think they depict that well, but like her nice
She
form
d-
is blue haired,
Okay.
and then when she sneezes, she becomes blonde.
Oh, okay.
So it depicts it. It's more visual, right?
Yeah.
And
I figured
like
her hair was like really different too
Mhm.
from the shading. Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, they did shade it. That's right.
Yeah.
But yeah, she would just go like she would like start talking like gruffy and like not butch but like tough girl
Yeah.
like talking, and it's just
Yeah.
so funny. It's just great.
No, I imagined that. I was like, oh, she's like super grumpy when she's in this form, like literally guns blazing, like I said earlier. And
Yeah.
then like in her like nice form, she's like ditzy and like she's just oblivious
Yeah.
to what's around her.
Right. It's great.
It is great.
So they that fit the criteria, and then they start training.
Yeah.
Did you expect this kind of training?
No.
But right?
But it worked out.
But it makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense. And you know what? Like, if I thought about it, I was like, okay, 80s, 90s, like, what was there to do to kind of like get you kind of pumped up? Okay, farming, got it. Running, got it. Swimming, got it.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. And I think
Yeah.
this is where a lot of weight training tropes come from,
Mm-hmm.
where
Yeah.
they start wearing the turtle shell,
Yeah.
and it's like weighted down, makes things harder. You've seen this trope like in a lot of more
yeah.
recent shonen. I think the biggest one was like Rock Lee,
Yes.
where he just has like the straps, right?
Yeah.
and let's go. And I think that was the most extreme version of it. But this has been a consistent thing in Dragon Ball. So.
And you know what? Goku, I love how he doesn't complain. He just kind of like does it.
Speaking of doesn't, yeah. Oh, actually, sorry. Going back to launch, when you said he doesn't complain and does stuff, were you? I know this is so 80s, but like they had her wear like an outfit.
Yes.
And it was like a very like risque outfit.
Yes,
but I love
risque.
that they all wore it. Like she comes
did.
out and they all wore it. And
that was
great.
very progressive. Because they were all just like, hey.
It's like, hey, me too. This is our school uniform.
Goku was just like, hey, I'm just here.
Goku is just a vibe. Honestly.
He is just a vibe.
But yeah, I think the training, I always liked watching this section or seeing this section because it was just so different. Like all they're doing is delivering milk. But they're climbing up, going up the mountain and delivering everything. And try to be fast about it. But they're not actually doing any martial arts, and I think that's the coolest thing. Like they're getting strong themselves, right? Even just like
you don't think about it either. You're just like, oh, they're doing like mundane tasks.
Yeah.
Every day for 8 months. Like
And I think that's like I think the one quote that does get thrown around a lot from Roshi is like the whole like the turtle training way is like you train well, sleep well, study well, and then eat well. You know, it's like do all. It's like very basic, just have fun, right?
Yeah.
Play. Oh yeah, and it's like play well. It's just very. I think it's a good mentality, and it's like really cool. So, I know it's funny because when you bring up like how Roshi is, and I'm like, this is before, right? You're like, oh, Roshi's like a perp. I'm like, yeah, he is. But then I think of like this scenario. Like think of like the next part
of this Roshi.
Like this is how I think of Roshi. Like legitimately though.
And you know what? He is a good master. Yeah. He's always like, do this times 10.
Times 10.
Or he's like, whenever they were farming, he's like, no, do it with your hands.
He's like, they're about to pick up like the hose. He's like, what are you doing? You're doing
Drop
with your
it.
hands. Drop it. Or he's like, move this rock.
Yeah.
That's
Goku
a joke.
Actually, yeah.
Goku, it's like, oh, not that rock. That rock.
I think he was in shock though. He was like,
he was absolutely. No. I love like when he gets shocked by all these guys. But dude, when they're done, I love how it's like, oh, we didn't learn anything. We didn't learn martial arts, but it's like, well, take off the shells.
Yeah.
I think that was surprising. It's just cool to see like that's visual progress to me.
Yeah.
Too.
And then when they start jumping in the air.
Yep.
They both were like, ooh, lighter.
We're flying.
Yeah.
But now they're able to go to the quarterfinals and they're in little suits.
They're in their suits that I know them from.
You've seen that, right?
Yeah, I've seen it, yeah.
Okay. And it's actually adorable. Like every time I see it, it's like, oh, that's adorable. That's great.
No, it is. It's cute. And that's why I call them both little gremlins. Because they were literally little gremlins here.
But we also get to, like, we see them, like, go through the preliminaries because they have to qualify, right? The qualifiers?
Yeah.
Is it that?
No, and you know what? You talk about loving tournament arcs for years. And I see the appeal. And I see how it started. So when I saw that they were going to enter into a tournament, I was like, Harrison, you talked about this with Black Clover. You talked about this
with Hunter.
A little bit with Fairy Tail. Like I know the origin now, and I understand.
This is where it started. Like honestly, like this exact tournament was what I enjoyed. I just think it's great because it's fun.
And it was simple.
It's simple. It's a very simple plot point. Yeah.
Flashiness to it.
But it's still like, and this is why I appreciate it. It's like it's a simple concept, but it's still if you do it well, you can still show like kind of progress with each character. Like Krillin, like actually Krillin was a good one Goku going against someone, and then actually understanding. Oh, I need to. Yeah. He looks at Krillin's like, oh, we should probably restrain ourselves.
Yeah.
Like this just shows like Goku's dumb, but when it comes to combat, it's like. It's something clicks. It's like right there.
It's like
right?
Luffy. It's the same way, actually.
Yep. Yeah, it's I figured for you it's like an easier comparison now when you like after reading One Piece, it's
Yeah.
you see the blueprint. It's like right here.
No, literally. And
Yeah.
I know Oda always speaks back to like Dragon Ball, so it's just like I see.
Yeah. And this is like I say Dragon Ball Z is like typical Goku that you can expect.
Mm-hmm.
I think Super you don't have to worry about this, but I think Super's version is kind of different. It follows in the same line, but I think this is like at its core like the blueprint of like the character style.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, and then what'd you think of Krillin's like preliminary fight?
It was interesting. I was a little scared for him because he's not Goku, but he's also just his own. He's going on his own journey, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I always knew he existed. I just didn't know how far he would get into this tournament. But it was cool. It was cool to see him fight in his own way.
Because you expect Goku to just be strong off the bat, but it's fun to see like other. And I think that's where Goku's like that, not fully stagnant, but somewhat stagnant character where you see everyone else grow around him.
Yeah, like
because it's like oh yeah, you see Yamcha now too, short hair, his long hair's out.
Oh yeah, his long hair's out. Cause
city boy
vibes.
Yeah. And I guess it's like Yamcha and Bulma thing. Lamau.
Yeah.
Don't need to wish for that. But yeah, like everyone went like they essentially just steamroll the whole thing. They like Goku beats Bruce Lee.
Literally. Yes, literally.
Yeah. Bruce Lee, dude, isn't it crazy? Like Bruce Lee has such an impact on like a lot of martial arts tropes. It's crazy. But now we get into the quarterfinals.
Yes, we do.
We'll talk about each fight really quick. It'll be kind of easy. First match, Krillin versus Bacterian. Thoughts?
Poor kid. He tried.
But he did. But
he has no nose. Okay, I know. And you know what? I didn't think about that.
No,
I never thought about that. And Goku just does like this incredible thing where he's just like, "It's all in your head. You don't have a nose."
It's not a big deal. You can't smell. And he's like, "Oh yeah, he's right."
Yeah. And you know what? That character design, I just really never.
You just don't think about it.
I just don't think about it.
Yeah. He has no nose. It's stuff like it's little stuff like this where it's like some people expect some realism from Dragon Ball, but I'm like, and then here we are. We have dinosaurs walking around in the wilds, and then this shit happens, right? It's honestly, you can't. I think sometimes they take it a bit too seriously. Like I respect like how cool it is, but then Toriyama does this shit, and you're like, huh? But
I just love how it's just like he's like burping out because he's nasty. The bacteria guy.
Gross bacterian guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love how everyone's like, just stay away.
Or they have the mask. Like the announcer was just like having a mask over his face and stuff.
It's too much.
It was a lot. It was a lot.
And then we have Krillin wins. No big deal. Jackie Chun versus Yamcha. No, Jackie Chun. Yeah.
Yeah. You mean?
I'm actually curious. Yeah. Did you suspect anything off the bat at this point with Jackie Chun?
Yes and no. I figured something was going on because I think it was Oolong. Oolong was like, "Where's the old guy?"
Yeah. Okay.
Because in the audience, everyone was in the audience, and Oolong was just like, "Where are they? Where is he? He's supposed to be here." Yep. So I figured something was going on. And then in this first fight, I was just like, "No, it can't be. My head is not. I'm not this dumb."
This is the one thing that I wanted to hear from you and just see, because it's like one of those because actually in the anime I think it was more obvious.
Okay.
Because here, like reading it just jumps, and if it does a very quick thing where he shows him talking to the girl. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
And then something's in between, but
yeah.
Did you think Yamcha get past though?
Oh no. No.
This actually sets the pecking order, like who's where on power levels.
Yeah, power level wise. I knew like as people were like winning and losing, like you could tell where the levels were.
Mm-hmm.
No. Yamcha was not winning.
Yamcha's not winning. Unfortunate.
Like the hairdo though.
Oh yeah, I know, right?
That's a nice hairdo.
Yeah. But he gets knocked out. Jackie Chun wins. Jackie Chun.
Jackie Chun.
Then
what a good way to not get sued.
Oh, I know, right? I mean, they had Bruce Lee, then now they just named him Jackie Chun.
Yeah,
like, hey,
yeah.
All these nods. One random thing. So again, we go to the next fight: Nam versus what's her name? Rafan. Yeah, that's what they said. Rafan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right before that, though, they show that Nam's like a very serious person.
Yeah.
And this is also when I can't take it seriously, like Dragon Ball seriously, in that for some reason Jackie Chun uses telepathy to read his mind. And I'm like, I forgot about that.
Well, and also it's kind of like in a random spot, right? Because it's just two
honestly
extras fighting each other. One has to win.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, what's going on?
They just had to give us like the quick like,
background.
Okay, this is why he needs to win, right?
Yes, yeah, for his town,
for his village, blah, blah.
For his village.
And again, I think the one thing I will say is Roshi's like powers in Dragon Ball are kind of weird because they allude to that he's immortal. They allude to that he can do telepathy, and he has all these like ancient like weapons, right? He's like this like.
He's like this old timer.
Coming from like, if you watch DBZ first and then you go to this, you're like, what? Yeah. What's going on? This man can get buff out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But
he's a mysterious guy.
He's a mysterious guy. Super mysterious.
Yeah.
Which I think was fun. Is still fun to read. Like at this point, you're like, oh yeah, they made Roshi like cool. What'd you think of this fight?
It was just like kind of random. It was a little random.
It was the in between fight.
Yeah, it was the in between fight. It was a filler fight.
It was.
But it had to keep going, right?
Yeah.
Someone had to fight in the next.
Of course, she had to like pull the tricks of like, oh, takes off clothes. I'm like,
yeah.
Okay, all right.
Seductive walk towards him in like a bikini or like her underwear.
I think it was just her underwear actually.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, all right, that's a move. Men.
Men.
But Nam wins.
Yes.
And then Goku versus the Dragon Dude, Giron. Yeah.
That was hilarious.
And
I forget that animals can talk. I always forget animals can talk in this. So when I saw him, I was just like, what's going on?
Like I said, it's a reminder that like even like we have dinosaurs in the wild and some of them talk. Mm-hmm. So this is the universe, right?
And it was an interesting fight, I would say.
Oh, it was cool.
It was hard. It was hard to see, human boy go against a dinosaur like twice his size, 3 times his size.
Goku gets bound with like the gum or whatever.
Yeah.
I could only think about like the gum for it at that point. Okay, that's fine. That's interesting.
It's good.
But he wins. Flying him. Like I like the little things of like the technicalities of who could win, because all it matters is if they get out the ring or they call mercy, right?
Mercy, yeah.
Nimbus just comes in and saves him. Like, oh, okay, cool.
One time.
But Goku hasn't actually gotten to like show off his skills yet. He's just kind of like cruising through, right?
Yeah, and actually his tail comes back.
Yeah.
At this point, I think. This point was where I think his tail came back.
Yep. And everyone's like, what? I love
where did this tail come from?
Everyone's like, oh my god, this boy has a tail. And then the crew is like, oh god, the tail's back.
Yeah. And then they think about the full moon. They're like, when's the full moon?
I don't know. But now we get to the semifinals. And right before that, we're going to take a quick break to talk about our sponsors.
This episode is sponsored by Olipop, the soda your gut will thank you for. Yes, I'm talking to you, all of you. All right, have you ever missed that classic soda pop feeling? The fizz, the flavor, but without the sugar crash? And the guilt trip. Yeah, me too, me too, me too, you too, Harrison too. All of us. That's why I'm introducing to you Olipop, the soda that's bursting with flavor and good for you too. I actually have my favorite one here, strawberry vanilla. But the other weird one that I enjoyed was banana cream. I know, it's weird, super weird, but this is my favorite. Number 1, because it only has 3 grams of sugar per can, plus it has 9 grams of prebiotic fiber. And you know what you need with fiber? To use the restroom. Hee hee hee. But yeah, that means that you're going to have a happy and healthy gut with every sip. And it looks like that they took everything we loved about classic soda and upgraded to a modern, healthy conscience person. Like you, like me, like Harrison. My co-partner. My co-host that's not here right now. So ditch the compromise and experience the soda revolution for yourself. Don't forget to use our promo code NgoVo15 NgoVo15 to get 15% off your first order on drinkolipop.com.
And we're back.
Wow, what a quick break.
Quick break. I'm thirsty now. Quite thirsty.
Quench the thirst.
It's a dangerous phrase because it's like, oh, why don't you have an Olipop afterwards? I'm like, dude, that's a lot. I might have to go get it, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, but we're on semifinals and we're now at the Krillin versus Jackie Chun fight. And aren't you sus of who Jackie Chun is?
Yeah, at this point, Yamcha was actually using that old noggin of his. And like, he's like, no, you look familiar. So at this point, I was just like, no, the old man's
They keep
here.
alluding to it, yeah.
Yeah. The old man is here. And poor Krillin.
But that fight was cool, though, right?
That was cool.
Like, it's like Krillin versus his master legitimately now.
Yeah. But he's grown so much, Krillin.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, it was cool to see him fight against Roshi, and he could just hold his own for a little bit.
Yeah.
Did
you like the slow-mo explanation?
Yeah.
Excuse me, but we didn't really see what happened. Can you explain?
Could you do this again? How did you kick?
And they like legitimately just went through the motions.
Yeah.
But so much happened.
Yeah, it did.
It's like, oh, we're gonna do like rock, paper, scissors. I was like, what?
I like how Roshi's like, I kick here, and his head goes here, and like.
And then Krill's like, oh, and if you help me, I then fly back here.
Yeah,
and I land
if
this
you
way.
lift me up. Karen was like, if you lift me up here, I'll just jump.
But
it was nice.
And then the random thing of like Krillin throwing down a pair of panties.
The panties.
I was like, where'd this come from? But at the end, I think it was just fun to see like Krillin like do like actually keeping up.
Yeah.
For once, like I love how initially he's like, oh, I didn't see that punch, but then Goku's like, I saw it. Just look harder.
Goku just makes it sound so easy. He's like, just
he makes
look.
it sound so dumb.
Look
He's like, just
harder.
look at it. What do you mean? And then Krillin's like, oh, I see.
I see now.
But they introduced like a lot of moves, like the after image or like essentially but it's all moves that make sense right now. It's like, oh, just moving fast and all that, right?
Yeah. And you know what these moves remind me of? Naruto.
See?
And I was just like, oh my god.
Look. This is important.
I see.
But the crazy part is Krillin almost got him out.
Yeah.
But then he reveals that he can use the Kamehameha.
Yeah.
It is a cool reminder to see like how everyone knows of Master Roshi, and they're like, oh, he's the only one that can use the Kamehameha. And then here it's like, oh,
but he's not.
But now he's not.
Whoa,
not. What's going on? What's happening?
And like the audience is like, ooh, we get to see this like live.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow.
But then Jackie Chan's like, all right, time to end it. Just like knocks him out.
He had a good fight though. Yeah.
Yeah. Krillin
has a good fight.
So, but now Jackie Chan moves to the finals, and we see Goku versus Nam.
Yeah.
What you expect from this one?
I mean, I figured Goku had to go fight Roshi.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay.
So I was like, I knew he had to win.
Yeah.
But it was a good fight because like Nam didn't like hold back.
Yeah. And it's like they hinted like the idea that Nam has stakes, right? Legitimate stakes.
Yeah.
While Goku just needs to go eat.
Yeah. Poor Goku's just like, I'm hungry.
He eats before the previous match.
Everything. Yeah, the previous match. Yeah.
Little boy.
He's just a hungry boy.
But he gets like freaking like Nam does like the dive and the X against his neck. I was like, dude, normal people
would just die.
Dead.
I just love how Goku's just like, he falls, right? He gets knocked out and then he just like gets back up. He's like, I'm up. I'm hungry. Let's get this over with.
Let's end this.
Let's end this right now.
But Nam gets knocked out of bounds, essentially. Dude, that whole aerial fight was cool, though.
No,
actually,
that was
right
cool.
Before then.
Yeah.
I thought that was crazy. But Nam gets knocked out. But this is, I think, where Roshi's character also comes out a lot. He sprinkles his we've only seen the pervy side of him, but I think you then get to see like, oh, he gives him a capsule, and he's like, oh, well, use this to transport water back. He's like, oh, I don't have the money for water. He's like, it's free.
It's free, my guy. We're in the desert.
Or we're in the city. The water's free. Water's free? I was like, that's kind of sad, but yeah, I think that's like alluding to like, yeah, there's poverty and all that, right?
Yeah.
But Roshi being Roshi is like actually a good person. That like,
which is nice to see. You know, he still has his like pervy side here and there, but
his nosebleed self.
Yeah.
But the man has some class.
Honestly, he's just like a mysterious guy.
Yeah.
He's a very mysterious guy.
Because he does a lot. And I'm like, whoa, what's going on?
He does.
But now
he does remind me of Sanji. Now that you just like tell me that, I'm just like, oh my god. I think Sanji's just based off of him.
Sanji just has like the no, yeah. It's just that trope.
It is that trope.
That's why initially when you reacted that was like, I'm like, you've seen this before.
Yeah, I wasn't really thinking about it. Because it's like an old man.
It is,
like,
yeah.
You know?
But then you start realizing there's a lot of people like that.
Yeah.
Like Mineta. That's why people get creeped out by Mineta.
Ah, yes.
See, the trope is like, the reason why is because this trope has been around for so long and people are like, ooh. Like, and
That's
it doesn't
also a
age.
good example.
It doesn't age well. It hasn't aged well whatsoever. But Japan will still bring this trope out no matter what because people will still react to it.
Do it. Yeah.
And people do it. It's not like they don't. So it's just But now we're at the final match.
Wow, we're here.
We're here, and dude, this one I felt like took a long time, but I don't think it actually did.
I know. Reading it, I thought it was longer. It was still about 10 chapters. Yeah. Roughly. Yeah. Like under 10. Under 10, about like 8 or 9 or something. Yeah. But it felt longer. Yeah. Because it was like, you know.
It was like thing after thing after thing,
to
right?
Student and like. Goku was just like copying everything too.
Yeah. Oh.
The battle.
What was funny right before this was, you know, Nam was like, "Oh, thank you for this." He's like, "Okay," and he's like, "I'll do anything." He's like, "Can you do me a solid?" And and Yamcha's still like, "That is Master Roshi," and he's like, "No, that's Master Roshi." And
he's actually in the crowd.
And you see Nam just have like the whole get up, and I'm like, perfect.
But it works out.
It works out. But I like the reasoning why he's like, no, I have to go here to fight these guys because he doesn't want their ego to inflate.
You know, I don't think Goku's would ever.
No, but it is a natural. It is a natural worry.
Yeah,
I think like Krillin, it could, right?
Krillin, yeah. I mean, like, that little gremlin could.
Yeah.
So, you know, I understand where that's coming from. Yeah. It was a cool fight, though.
This whole fight was a lot. It was just... They introduced, like, the drunken fist.
Yes.
Like before that, they did all this normal stuff, right? Like they did like the mirroring, they did like the after image. Like it just shows that Goku's just copying a lot, right? Like you said, but that just means he's just that good. Honestly,
he's digesting it quickly.
Yes.
The only thing he really couldn't digest was the drunk.
Because he's like, and I love how like Yoshi's like, I like to see you try to copy this if you've never gotten drunk. But I love how Goku's like, I've seen this before.
Yeah. And then Goku gets frustrated. He's like, I don't like this.
But he does his own thing.
Yeah, he does.
And something that he would know becomes a monkey. Because he's just out in the wilds and he sees monkeys do all this stuff. Monkeys, literally monkey see, monkey do.
Monkey do, yeah. Turns into a monkey because the full moon is here.
This is where Dragon Ball logic goes crazy. And, Goku's wrecking stuff and everyone's freaking out. And then Master Roshi's like, all right, screw this. And sends out a blast.
Yes.
And you're like, wait.
That would kill a normal person.
And it's crazy because Yamcha's like, no, he's going to die.
Yeah.
And then don't you love how at the end it's like, Goku's dead.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I didn't know that. And I was like, oh, see, if I read this, oh, God. Yeah.
I would have been scared.
Yeah. But the man blasts the moon.
Yeah.
I was like, welcome to logic. And welcome to Dragon Ball logic, because that makes sense.
I mean, it would totally make sense to blow out the moon so he could go back to boy form.
Yeah, but also, like, now we don't have a moon. I love how they mentioned it's like, what about moon cakes? What about the moon festival?
Yeah. What's happening? Where's all the moon stuff now?
Isn't like the ocean gonna freak out now too?
Yeah.
That's a Team 4-Star reference, by the way, but it's fine. But at the end, they just fight like normal, and I think the ending was really cool where they do the kick. Did you make the connection that Roshi would be bigger?
Yeah, I did.
It's great. It's just.
But I mean, Goku almost got him.
Several times.
Times.
Several times in this episode. I think the craziest one was when he looked like he was out, but his foot was in
the side
in the side of the ring, and I'm like,
yeah, and then his other foot was just kind of hanging, so he technically was not out.
Yeah. See, this was the stuff that made me love tournament arcs. It was like, if you could do tricks like this, top tier, too good. Like, play on these tropes. I love it. But Jackie Chun wins at the end because Goku just passes out.
I love how at the end they both are like so tired, but they still want to stand up, and Goku's just like, I'm here, and it falls flat.
Yeah, I think, and then right after Roshi just goes back to normal. They all go out for dinner.
Rips out wig. Goes back into the audience.
Man. And then Goku spends all his money.
Yes. Most of it.
It's like he won. He won.
Yeah.
What'd you think of this whole tournament arc?
I thought it was cool. I usually like tournament arcs. So it was really nice to see. It was like a break from the actual plot, which is like Goku finding the Dragon Balls again. So it was just cool to see him level up.
Yeah.
Because in the beginning, like in the first episode, like I didn't see, like I knew he was powerful, Goku, and that was kind of like a starting point. Like I could like picture where Goku could go, and this was just where like, oh, he's like leveled up. Like, now a step further.
See, and I think a very good example, and you'll pull from this a lot, in that Luffy is. You can tell Luffy was kind of based off of this in a sense.
Yeah.
Because Luffy was also strong off the bat. Yeah. You don't really have to see too much, but you knew he was strong, right? But you need to get a power up and all. It's this typical shonen stuff too.
No, it is.
But I thought this was good because it was very easy to follow. But it's like it still showed growth, but also like thought process of like certain fights and all that. So
yeah, and it was nice to see everyone again.
Yeah,
like that
meet the whole gang.
Reunion. Yeah, that was really nice.
But now, Goku's just going to go find the Dragon Balls, because the next thing he's like, I'm just going to find my grandpa's Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
That's all he wants is, like, the 4-star one.
Yeah.
So, and now you'll get the reference of why the 4-star one is always shown like everywhere.
Everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's important. I like how like Krillin was like, Krillin is also funny in that he's learning about the monkey farm. He's like, oh,
Yes.
learning about the Dragon Balls. He's like, oh, is this journey hard? He offers to help, but I like that the roadblock is you can't get on this cloud. He's like, oh, yeah, that's right. He just leaves it.
Krillin's like, okay, bye.
I'm just gonna stay Roshi now.
Yeah.
But this is fun. It's a fun ride, and I
it
can't
was
wait
fun.
for you to read the next part. I'm actually curious. Would you watch any of this stuff?
I would.
Because I think it's on. I think they finally got it on Crunchyroll.
It's on
now,
Crunchyroll.
after
yeah.
the Funimation transition.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I would.
I'd let you, because I know at this point there's a lot more anime
Anime stuff, right?
stuff that kind of fleshes out, but I think it could also be, it may be filler-y-esque, but yeah.
It would be nice to see like hair color, voicing, all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And personally, I don't think it matters if you watch it in Japanese or English. I watched it in English, so
I remember watching in English.
yeah. But anyway, can't wait to see what you think of the next saga.
Me too.
On that note, I'm gonna close it out. Thanks for tuning in. You can follow us on all our socials at NgoVo Convo and NgoVo Convo. If you're on YouTube, don't forget to hit all those buttons from right to left. Subscribe. That's the main one. Subscribe, help us out. Let us know how we're doing in the comments. Just if you enjoy Dragon Ball like I do. Do you like tournament arcs like I do?
Like he does.
Are you having fun like Veronica? Because she's having so much fun.
So much fun.
She's
I am actually.
She's breezing through this so fast
Yeah.
though, because it's easy. But other than that, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.